Your cat stares at nothing, and you have never known what to do with that. It happens in the evening, usually. The room is quiet, you're reading or half watching something, and you look over and the cat is completely still, facing a corner of the ceiling or a patch of bare wall or the middle distance just above the floor. Not sleeping, not drifting, watching. Its pupils are slightly wide. Its ears have rotated. Barely, but they have, toward whatever it is that you cannot see. You follow its gaze. There is nothing there. There has never been anything there, and yet it does not look away. This video is about what is actually happening in that moment. Not superstition, not instinct in some vague, dismissible sense. A precise, documented biological reality happening right now in the room where your cat lives, in a version of that room you have never been able to enter.
You have lived with this animal, possibly for years. You know its moods. You know the sound it makes when it wants food versus the sound it makes when it wants company. You know which chair it prefers and at what hour and why. You feel, reasonably, based on real experience, that you understand it.
That understanding is not wrong, but it is incomplete in a way that matters. The gap is not emotional, it is perceptual. You and your cat inhabit the same physical space, the same cubic meters of air, the same light, the same four walls, and you are not experiencing the same room. You never have been. What your cat is doing when it stares at a wall is not a mystery in the folklore sense, the ghost it is supposedly seeing, the spirit world some people reach for. It is a mystery in the scientific sense. The room contains information your nervous system was never built to receive.
Start with sound. A cat's hearing range extends to roughly 79,000 hertz. Yours reaches at best 20,000, and that is when you are young. By the time most people are in their 40s or 50s, the upper edge has already begun to fall. What this means, in practice, is that your cat is continuously receiving acoustic information that is simply absent from your experience of the world. The ultrasonic frequencies produced by mouse vocalizations, by insect movement behind a wall, by the high-pitched harmonic of a pipe under pressure, these are not faint signals your cat is straining to hear. They are crisp, clear, directional. Your cat knows which wall a mouse is moving behind. It knows the difference between the sound of a beetle in the skirting board and the vibration of a boiler 2 rooms away. When it turns its head toward the ceiling, it is not imagining something. It is locating something. Precisely.
And the ears are doing something your anatomy cannot replicate. Each ear moves independently, rotating up to 180 degrees, controlled by 32 separate muscles. Yours have 3. When your cat appears to be staring blankly forward, it may be directing one ear upward and one toward the far wall simultaneously, triangulating, building a 3-dimensional acoustic map of the room in real time. The twitching you sometimes see, that small involuntary flicker at the base of the ear, that is the sound system recalibrating, locking onto a frequency. The cat is not restless. It is focused in a way that has no human equivalent. Imagine being able to hear the room from 2 different directions at once, combine those signals instantly, and place the source of a sound to within centimeters. That is what is happening while your cat appears to be doing nothing at all. And sound is only the beginning.
Consider the light in your room right now. Whatever time it is, whatever the quality of illumination, your cat is seeing that light differently. Not just more of it, though that is true too. Differently in structure. A cat's retina contains a layer of cells called the tapetum lucidum, the membrane that causes eye shine when light hits a cat's eyes in the dark. This layer acts as a mirror behind the photoreceptors, reflecting incoming light back through the retina a second time. Every photon gets 2 passes. In near darkness,
A cat can see with roughly 1/6 of the light a human needs. But the tapetum does more than amplify. It alters. The image your cat sees is not a dimmer version of your image, brightened. It is a different image, built from different information, optimized for different threats, sensitive to movements at the far edges of perception that your visual system would simply discard as noise.
And movement is the key. Your eye is built to do many things at once: to read, to recognize faces, to judge distance, to perceive color across a wide spectrum. A cat's eye is built for one thing above all others: motion detection. The density of rod cells, the photoreceptors that respond to movement in low light, is distributed differently in a cat's retina, concentrated in a horizontal band called the visual streak. This corresponds roughly to the horizon line, to the boundary layer between floor and wall or wall and ceiling, the precise zone where prey moves. When your cat is staring at what appears to be a blank stretch of wall just above the baseboard, it is watching a region of the visual field where its eye is most sensitive, most alert, most capable of detecting the smallest displacement.
What is the smallest movement your cat can perceive? Researchers estimate it can detect motion at a distance of around 25 feet from a displacement of as little as a single millimeter. 1 millimeter at 25 feet. There is a third sense to consider, and it is the most unsettling of the three. Not because it is supernatural, but because it is so completely outside human experience that we have no intuitive framework for it. Cats detect vibration. Not through sound and not through sight, but through mechanoreceptors, sensory nerve endings distributed through the paw pads and concentrated in the facial whiskers. The whiskers are not decorative. They are directional instruments capable of detecting the movement of air currents in a room, of registering micro vibrations passing through a floor, of sensing the pressure wave generated by a small animal moving on the other side of a wall. When your cat sits still in the center of a room, it is also feeling the room, receiving information through its feet, through its face. The stillness is not emptiness. It is the posture of a system receiving on every available frequency simultaneously.
Here is the reversal that changes something. We tend to feel unsettled by this behavior, the blank staring, the unreadable attention, because it reminds us that there is a version of reality we cannot access. But consider what that means from the other direction. Your cat is not living in a richer world than you and hiding it. It is living in a different world, running alongside yours in the same space at the same moment. The room you share is not one room. It is two rooms overlaid. Yours, built from color and language and facial recognition, and the particular human ability to inhabit narrative time, to remember yesterday and anticipate tomorrow. And its room, built from sound and motion and vibration and chemical information, exquisitely calibrated for immediate presence. Neither is more real. They are two different solutions to the problem of being alive. What is strange, genuinely strange, if you sit with it, is that this arrangement has been stable for 10,000 years. Cats entered human settlements at the beginning of agriculture, drawn by the rodents that grain stores attracted, tolerated by farmers who recognized what they were doing. No selective pressure changed what they were. The tameness you see is behavioral. It is real. Your cat genuinely chooses to be near you. But underneath that choice, the perceptual apparatus is the same one that existed before the first human settlement. When your cat stares at a wall in a modern apartment, in a city where no mouse has walked in years, it is running ancient software on novel hardware. The room it is scanning no longer contains the threats it evolved to detect. But the scanning never stopped. It never will. The system is always on.
Think of the last time your cat froze mid-step, one paw lifted. That is the same system. That is the same room. There is one more piece of this, and it is the piece that most people don't reach because it requires holding something uncomfortable. The question is not just what your cat can perceive that you cannot. The question is whether your cat has any awareness of the gap, whether it experiences your version of the room at all. Research in animal cognition suggests that cats are sensitive to human attention, to human emotional states, to the direction of a human gaze. They know when you are watching them. What they cannot know, what no experiment has yet suggested they understand, is that you are effectively blind to the parallel world they are monitoring. They do not know that when they track something across the ceiling, you see nothing. To your cat, you may simply appear not to notice, as if you were not quite paying attention.
So go back to the evening. The quiet room, the lamp on the side table. Your cat is sitting in that same corner, facing the wall above the baseboard, perfectly still. You look at it now, and it is different. Not frightening, not magical. Something more precise than either of those things. The stillness is not absence. It is attention. The gaze that appears to land on nothing is landing on something your nervous system was never built to receive. In the same room, at the same moment, an animal is monitoring sound frequencies above the edge of your hearing, tracking sub-millimetre movements at the periphery of a visual field tuned for exactly this purpose, feeling vibrations through the floor with the same calm focus you might use to read a sentence. It has been doing this its entire life, every evening, while you thought it was staring at nothing.
It is not nothing. That is what this channel keeps returning to. The space between what you see when you look at your cat and what is actually there. That space is not emptiness. It is a different kind of fullness. If you want to go further into it, the next video explores something equally intimate and equally surprising. Not what your cat sees, but what it smells, and why the scent map of your home, as your cat experiences it, contains a record of everything that has ever happened there. Every person, every animal, every emotion you have had in this room. That video is here. And if this one stayed with you, if it made the animal on your sofa briefly, genuinely strange, leave a comment with just this. What were you doing the last time your cat stared at nothing?